Today's presentation is fairly simple. I was looking at what causes a business to have the ability to really scale. And through all the coaching I've done over the last 20 years with all different types of styles of businesses, I noticed some trends and patterns that I wanted to share with you, because many of you here have different sizes of businesses, different styles of businesses. So I just want to make sure that no matter what size or style or industry, the fundamentals are dialed in for you to give you a chance for it to grow. Now, for some people, breaking $1 million a year isn't a ton. For others, that's life-changing. And I go back to a time in my life where making $100,000 a year was life-changing. And so I'm starting with something that might be a stretch for some and a dream and might not be for others, and that's okay. But I just wanted to start in this first big leap. And so let's look at this real quick. This is interesting to me. When you started your business, and I'll look to the chat box here. When you started your business, what was the dream? I'll hop over here. What was the dream? Did you want more freedom? Did you want more time with your family? Did you want better finances? What was the thing that you really wanted when you started it? Did you want it to be the best on earth? Did you want to dominate an industry? Did you want to take out someone who frustrated you? Like, what was the thing that really caused you to start the business itself? For me, it came out of a combination of wanting to help people. My first real job, my first job was at Blockbuster Video Security. My first real job was in my family's nonprofit. I wanted to help people. I had a fascination, a passion, an interest, a drive to try to make someone else's life better in some way, shape, or form. And so that was exciting to me. I got into coaching because I walked across the courtyard and I asked, what do these people do? And they were coaches. And the lady who ran the department said, they help people all day. And I said, well, what do they get paid? And they got paid more than I did at the nonprofit. And I asked, could I do it? So my combination was wanting to help people mixed with wanting to be able to earn a decent living doing so. That was my combination. Now that I have a family, one of my main drivers is the ability to leverage business, to make a difference, to earn a living, but to be able to spend more time with the ones I love and not just be chained to a desk 24/7, which I notice happens as your business grows. And that's something that's really interesting to me. The other thing, I built my business, and you can ask my wife who's on here with us, I built my business from the beginning with the goal that I wanted to be able to work from anywhere on earth via a laptop, the internet, and a cell phone. Those were the only three tools I wanted to have to use, and I wanted to be able to do from anywhere. And we're blessed. We live between Puerto Rico and Cape Town, and our business works just the same, regardless if we're in Cape Town for 5 months, which we did last year, or 28 days on a road trip safari through Kenya and Tanzania, or at home in Puerto Rico. It works the same. That was a goal. So I wanted freedom as well. The reality, though, for most business owners is most business owners put in about 52 hours a week. They make the average business owner, this is US based, average business owner makes medium owner earnings is $65,000 a year. They take 43% take zero vacations, and 96% of the business owners who make it past 10 years never break $1 million. That's the actual statistics. So when I went out and had one of my best years in business, I'll never forget. I did 22 events in 22 cities around the world. We went to Australia. We went to Japan, thanks to my friend Coach Cardon, who brought me out there that year. We went through Central and South America. We did North America and Canada. We were in Europe. We were all over the world. And I came home and I sat with my accountant at the end of the year, and he goes, "How do you think you did?" And I said, clearly, I crushed it. Best year in business. Look at the top line. And he said, honey, you obviously don't know how to read financials. You would have made more money working at McDonald's than you did in this business of yours. And I just thought the guy was a jerk. How rude could you be? I'm helping people. I'm traveling the world. I had 22 events in 1 year. That's amazing. And he's like, yeah, but you don't get to take any of it home. That year, I wrote a check for $30,000 to do business that year. I paid to do business that year. And my friend said, shoot, you must really like helping people to pay 30 grand to go work for them. I said, I guess so. And we had to figure that out. How do you make it? So you started your business for freedom, but most of you built a prison with your name on the door. Oops. Right? We wanted to travel. We wanted to do stuff. We wanted freedom in our life. We wanted the ability to spend time with our family. And now you wake up going, shoot, if I don't get to my desk by 6 a.m. and do my 3 a.m. morning routine, and I don't cram in at least 18 hours of work, which I have friends and family who joke, I only work half days now that I have my own business, 12 hours a day, ha, ha, ha. And it's funny, but it's true. And I think it's kind of sad because I want to go to my kid's t-ball practice. I want to take him out in the ocean and snorkel. I want to take him on safari. I want to have those opportunities. And I think most parents do. Yet the demand of the prison we built keeps us chained to our desk, missing all those opportunities that we have the opportunity to have if you set it up right. So I hope you hear my intention. My intention is, how do I give you both the earning capacity, but more importantly, the freedom in no matter what business you have set up so that you can be there for the moments that matter. I have my own sensitivities to that and my own drive behind it. But really, truly, I want that for people. And I think with today's technology, it's possible. So here's reason number 1 out of the 7 that we're going to talk about today. So let's talk through this. The founder, the number 1 reason why businesses don't crack through $1 million is every decision, every client, every fire, every problem, every opportunity flows through one person, you. The business can't grow beyond what you personally manage. You're not building a company. You're running your own job. I'll watch the chat box real quick. Who is here or has been here? Who has a business that is founder dependent? Now, I'll tell you something crazy. I thought this goes away once you make $3 million a year, $5 million a year. I've had clients who are making $6+ million a year and their business is founder dependent. They're stuck in what's called the founder's trap, which means they haven't built the right machine, people, process, dashboards, people who are going to do it, or AI nowadays, but people who are going to do it, the process they're going to repeat, and the dashboard they're going to use to measure and make sure it's working. They haven't built the engine, so they're stuck being a founder-trapped business. What's the cost? For most business owners, if they don't figure this out, some get lucky, and they somehow make it to $6, $10, $20 million a year. I've also heard of a few businesses that are over $300 million a year that require the founder to come in and light a fire under everybody because they can't sustain without the founder's magic. They're out there. So just because you get big doesn't mean you fix this number 1 problem. But for the majority of people, this problem alone will keep you at $300,000 to $800,000 a year. Revenue, not take home. This is revenue. The fix, I put it right there for you. I'm going to give you the answer to every single one of these. The fix, document every decision only you can make and delegate or automate everything else. There are some things that only you can do. That's okay, but delegate and automate everything else. Now, there's a new thing that's come about in the last, 12 months for me, but a few years for others, where now you can build an AI agent. You can download everything you know, your patterns, your insights, your strategies. You can build it in a way where you can Create a brain that has a CEO type business advisor, handles strategic decisions, prioritization, 90-day planning, and it's running 24/7, helping you stay on track. I just got done building, I'm so excited about this, a chief of staff that connects with 265 other agents, and you only have to talk to your chief of staff. It will argue with you and push back when you're doing something that isn't in your best interest as a business. It will challenge you. It'll identify, hey, you haven't pulled your QuickBooks in 10 days. Want me to do it for you real quick? It will lead the business forward with you or for you if you need it to. The goal isn't to replace people. The goal is to augment and give them superpowers. So there's an AI fix, but there's also a human fix, which is document every decision only you can make, delegate and automate everything else. Now, there's also some founder psychology that happens there. How many of you have ever believed in your business, no one cares about it as much as I do? That'll keep you stuck, because why would you delegate something to someone who doesn't care? You're not going to give them the task. They don't care as much as you do. Or no one can do it as well as I can. That's a training issue. That's a systems issue. One of my mentors taught me, you got to make systems that an averagely intelligent person on their worst day can't mess up. I look through some people's systems, and it takes a rocket scientist to pull off some of the stuff you've outlined. You need simple systems, stuff that anyone could replicate quickly. But you got to trust them enough. And then other people have, well, what if I show them the system and they leave? Gosh, now they have my magic, my system. Uh-oh. So there's some psychology things in here. There's some trust issues in here, not just the fact that you need to capture it and hand it over. That's number one, though. Number two, no systems, just hustle. You have no SOP, standard operating procedures, no documented process. Every task lives in your head. When you hire, they shadow you for weeks and they still can't do it right. You've replaced freedom with more expensive version of doing everything yourself. How many of you have a team, but your team keeps coming to you to ask what to do and how to handle it and what happens next and what do I go from here? But in your brain, you're like, but I have a team. I'm beyond the founder's trap. I have a team. I have people who work for me. No, you don't. You have arms and legs that requires your brain to function. Does that make sense? Meaning, if you went down for 3 weeks, how well would those people keep everything moving forward? The answer is they wouldn't. Therefore, your brain is required, even though you've got access to their hands and legs, which is kind of them to share with you, but you're still stuck. What's the cost here? $17,000 to $240,000 per bad hire. You got to do a multiple of what you paid them, including the lost time and the possible culture damage if you have a team that's 4, 5, 6, 10 people or plus. The fix, record yourself doing each task once, turn it into a repeatable process that anyone can follow. Remember what my mentor said. It's got to be simple enough that an averagely intelligent human, pause, on their worst day, pause, could not mess it up. So when you create it, you got to take it through a simplicity check. Have I made it simple enough that an averagely intelligent person on their worst day cannot mess this up? Can I go get an intern from a local school and just give them the document and don't tell them anything, and they can reproduce the result like clockwork? You have that kind of SOP, you're in good business. The AI agent fix here, really cool. SOP builder. Describe a process once in normal language. It'll ask you, and then what happens? And then what do you do? It'll walk you through, ask you all the questions, and it will push back a step-by-step playbook of exactly what to do. It'll create a training doc showing someone how to do it, and it'll create a checklist so that every time they do it, they check it off and make sure it was done right. AI is incredible on how it can help with this. But go a step up, the fix. Record yourself doing everything once, turn it into a repeatable process, and put the simplicity test on it. Is it simple enough that an average intelligent human on their worst day can't mess it up? Number 3, you're selling your time, not leverage. Your revenue is capped by your calendar. Personally, I've seen this. You personally close every deal. You manage every client. You handle every proposal. You're the stop. If you stop, the pipeline stops. Your business doesn't have a sales system. It has you. And again, I've seen this at 10 million, 20 million, even larger, that they've got, 5 partners in the firm at a law firm. And if the partner ain't selling, they're not getting new business. So even though now they have multiple partners, they're still stuck in an active partner trap. The business can't grow beyond the partners. Without the partner doing the heavy lifting, they are not getting new revenue. And so the key here, for most business owners, if you only have yourself and maybe a couple others, this is $200,000 plus a year in lost revenue. You are losing money because other people on your team cannot enroll clients like you can. I'll pause here. How many of you would love to have someone on your team who could actively enroll clients with you? And I'll say another one. How many of you would love to be able to actively enroll clients better yourself? There's lots of us that are like, shoot, as much as I'd love someone else doing it, I think I need to figure this one out too. I've certainly had my moments where it was a little difficult to enroll clients myself. I saw Diane, me, LOL. There you go. Veronica, me, I'm struggling to replicate myself. There you go. So what's the fix? Build a sales system that generates and closes without you. One audience, one offer, one channel, but a system that's able to replicate on its own or with another human, but you could put another human in and they can replicate the same, if not better results than you can. Ideally better. It's really fun when you find a human who can sell better than you. AI agent, this came and inspired by a good friend of mine who's on here. I didn't come up with the name, he did, but it's called Sales IQ. It preps every call with buyer research, objection mapping, and personalized pitch angles in under 2 minutes. Meaning you have a lead in the system, it will go through, identify, research them, and prep you. So when you show up to the call, you know who's there, what they're about, what they're interested in, any objections they might have, and you get that stuff before you even walk into the conversation. It'll also give you angles to tell you how best to go after the actual meeting itself. It'll tell you what to avoid. Don't bring this up. You'll get in a whole pile of trouble if you try that. Like, it'll help you navigate it. Again, AI is incredible. Number 4, hiring patch. Hiring to patch, not to build. Oof. How many of you have ever gotten to a point where you're growing your business and all of a sudden you hit I can't do anymore. I need help. How many of you have gotten to that? And then you're like, shoot, I'm already at max capacity. I'm maxed out. There's no room to grow. So I need to hire someone. And then you have the experience where you hire someone, and what lands up happening is you had no time to do all the work. Where's the time to train the person? So now you're annoyed that they can't figure it out without effort. You're frustrated that you already had no time, and now you have to somehow come up with time to train them too. So now you have to shrink your business and lose money that you were already trying to keep to go try to train this other human that doesn't go very well, and you're constantly irritated that they're not performing as you dreamed. And now you're stuck in this loop. How many have ever been there? Yeah, I've done it. It's not fun. And all that's happening here, let me throw myself back up there, is you hired to patch a problem instead of hiring at the right time, which is before you need it. So that by the time you need it, you have a fully functional person running at full speed next to you, able to handle the overflow, not someone starting from scratch that you're trying to ramp up by the time you actually need them. The fix: define the role before the person, build onboarding so day one hires produce, not observe. Have a full on-ramp plan and know exactly how long it takes to get them up to full speed so that you can hire them before you need them and have them up to full speed by the time it's required to have that extra team member really running with you. Makes all the difference. AI agent, this is where it can help you create your hiring and onboarding process. We've mapped and modeled some of the best on earth in this category and brought that process into our system where it helps you identify the roles, do the specs, create a scorecard, show them what an A looks like, and create an entire onboarding ramp so that they can go through it and it's checked off accordingly. In the future, our chief of staff will monitor and check in on them each day to make sure they're appropriately making progress so that by the time they're ready, like you had an agent ramp them up for you. That's what we're trying to make happen here. But the key is, can you build an on-ramp, find out how long it takes to get them to full speed, and always hire at the beginning of the on-ramp so that the day you need them, you have them at full speed, not hire them to patch the gap that just showed up because, oops, I ran over capacity and now I can't survive without another human. Darn it, I don't have time to train them either. Now I'm falling. My mentor always said most small businesses will die of choking to death on indigestion, not through starvation. What does that mean? They blow through max capacity. They do not have the team or process to sustain the growth they've just had. And all of a sudden they choke to death on too much business because they're so focused on just trying to sell more, sell more, sell more. And they're not focused on what is our max capacity to ensure we don't break the machine we've built. It's like taking my son's Hot Wheel 4x4 truck he drives around and putting it in the Indy 500 race and expecting it to somehow last 500 laps. It won't. It'll fall apart. It's not built for that. And many businesses aren't built to sustain the speed you're trying to put on them. So you got to build it like that with that thought in mind. What is this? 5, no financial visibility. This was me traveling around the world, so excited, helping people all over, proud of my results, only to come home and find out I would have made more money working at McDonald's. This one stings. You know, we get mad at the accountant who's just telling us how we did instead of mad at ourselves for having no financial metrics, no dashboard telling us you're in the red, silly, do something different. And so when you have revenue, but you don't know your margins, cash flow is a mystery. You find out you lost money 3 months after it's gone. You're flying a plane with no instruments and wondering why you keep hitting turbulence. I mean, this cost 15 to 30% margin leakage. The fix here is you got to know your numbers weekly. You need profit margins, cash runway, forecasts. You need a 13-week cash flow. How much is going to go out? How much is going to come in over the next few weeks? Right? These are terms, a rolling forecast, a budget. I'll pause real quick. How many of you have a financial budget for your business? A detailed month by month, not here's what I spent last year, divide by 12, I guess that's what it is, but an actual month by month budget. Here's where it flexes up, here's where it flexes down, here's my actual budget for what I'm predicting I'm going to spend each month over the next 12 months. How many of you have that? I'll watch the chat box. 1. Can I get I need one if you don't have one? Need one. There you go. I definitely need one. Okay. Most of us need a budget. Yeah, I needed one too. I didn't know that. And so AI agent, this is where you have a CFO business advisor. They analyze your P&L, flag anomalies, forecast cash flows, 90 days out in advance, this kind of stuff. We built one of these. And the problem was you had to download your stuff and then upload it into another platform. So I don't know how many of you use QuickBooks, but we connected it to that. So you press one button, hit download, it drops all your last 5 years of financials into it. And then you tell your CFO to go analyze for cycle-based patterns, seasonal patterns, any red flags it notices. It's like hiring a fractional CFO, which I think Dean's on here. Dean used to pay $1,500 a month for 2 hours of time for a fractional CFO. So we built that in so you can literally hit the button, get all your financials, and have a CFO agent giving you the highest level Fortune 100 CFO level feedback on your business week over week, day over day. That's what we were aiming for. How do we produce that kind of thing? Number 6, no strategic plan. You wake up and fight fires. Every day is urgent, but nothing's really important. You have no 90-day plan, no quarterly priorities. You have no scoreboard. You don't know if you're winning or losing. I'll just stop for a second. Imagine you and I go play a sport. And we get to the field or the arena, and we're hyped. We're like, we're here. Let's go. We're playing rugby. We're playing basketball. And you say, okay, how do we know if we're winning or losing? And we go, I don't know. I guess we're just here for fun. We're just going to have fun out on the field. That's fantastic. I love to have fun. But when your family's meal depends on it tonight, don't you kind of want to know if you're winning or losing? Don't you kind of want to know if you made any money or if you lost it all? That's why you need a scoreboard. Am I winning or losing? Am I on track or off track? Am I ahead of schedule or behind schedule? The mass majority of people don't know. It's like you and I playing basketball and having them cover the scoreboard, and we just run back and forth and throw the ball and try to make points. We don't know how much you're up or I'm up. We're just throwing the ball at the basket as much as we can, hoping at the end of the game, the big reveal when we do our taxes. At the end of the game, they unveil how we did, and we're praying that it went in our favor this year. Now, if I was, 5 years old, we'd think that's cute. But when we're 30, 40, 50, and 60, that's just not smart. Like, now we're being really silly. We're risking a whole lot without knowing how we're actually doing. So we need something that can fix this. Build a 90-day plan. Have weekly priorities. Review it every Monday. Scores every Friday. This is what we said we were going to do. This is what we did. I'm ahead of schedule by 10%. I'm behind schedule by 5%. Here's what I'll do differently to get us back on the plan. Or have an agent that tracks this with you and for you. It says, how'd you do this week? Let me check our system. I noticed you said you were going to get 10 sales. You got 8. You're 20% off track. Tell me what worked and what didn't. Okay, let's plan that in the next week. Here's what we'll do. We need to stay on track for our quarterly goal. We need a 40% increase in effort over the next 3 weeks. That's a totally different level of review and performance than most of us have. Number 7, people use AI like a toy instead of a team. Hey, ChatGPT, write a social media post for me. Remove the M dashes so it doesn't look like you wrote it. I love these things. It helps save you $15. Changes nothing. Nothing's changed. Top 10% aren't using AI for one-off tasks. They're deploying AI agents, which are systems that handle entire business functions automatically with their data in their industry. The cost here, getting trapped by competitors who get it. This is where someone else who decides to learn this stuff and use it will far outpace you. Because one human with the right setup nowadays can do the work of 10, 20, maybe even 50 people at the same time. It's unbelievable what you're able to do when you get it set up right. The fix, stop using AI for tasks, start deploying agents for functions, build systems, not shortcuts. This is where you go back to SOPs. How could I set this up in a repeatable way that can happen every single week like clockwork? Measure it and make sure it works. Look at the dashboard. You see the progress made. It checks off, repeats, or it innovates and finds a way to do it better. AI agent, connected systems, sales, CFO, SOP, CEO, agents all work like a team, not isolated tools. They work integrated with each other 24/7. So here's the key. Critical distinction in that one. AI chat, you ask it, it answers. One-off, generic, it saves minutes. AI agents, they monitor, act, report, do ongoing progress, custom. They save 20 hours a week. I think Dean's on here. And I'm working with Dean right now we identified a 15 to 20 hour a week problem in his business, something that was requiring 20 hours of his time, and said, I wonder if we could build a few agents that would do the entire process. Now, we believe in human in the loop, which means a human has to approve it once a day to make sure it stays on track and doesn't get messy. But what if we could take a 20-hour a week process and turn it into a 15-minute a day process? My question becomes, how much more time could he spend with his wife and girls? Or is there another project he wants to take off the shelf and go focus on that for once because he finally has the time to do the thing he's wanted to do? My preference, go spend it with your girls. Go do something fun. That thought. So here's what we built, and I'll pause right here for a second. Has what I shared with you been useful so far? Yeah? Y'all learned something? Good. I wanted to make sure. I believe in value first. So I'll always front load everything with value. I'll also, with your permission, have an invitation if you want to come join us, because I'm going to be doing a live event in June 2nd and 3rd that I'm going to help business owners make this as simple as humanly possible. That I'm creating a system where you pick, I want a sales nurture agent. You click it, you connect your CRM, click, and then you tell it what kind of business you are. There you go. And then you hit deploy. I'm trying to make it that simple. You don't have to design it. You don't have to build it. You don't have to break it 1,000 times. I've done all that over the last probably 4 months for you. So I'm trying to make it as simple as humanly possible, that I could show you how to do it if you want to do it on your own without us. And if you'd rather just click it and use it, we'll have that available too. So can I tell you a little bit about that for a few minutes? Is that okay with everyone? I always ask your permission. I don't want to just jam into this. That's not my thing. I want to offer it and make sure it's okay. Okay. So here's what we built. We built 265 AI agents. They're in production. They're actively working. They're serving real businesses. Like, this isn't a dream or something we hope to do. We built it. It's running. It runs most of my business all day now. The goal is, could we replace a $500 an hour consultant with a $500 a month AI team? So normally, I saw Veronica said, how much did you pay your CFO fractional guy? Veronica says, mine was $2,000 and he didn't give me what I needed. There. Can I replace at least that guy for $500 a month with just the CFO agent? If any of you've hired people whose job is to lead nurture or lead score, go into your database, score all your leads, figure out who's warm, who's hot, who's cold, adjust customized communication accordingly. We have that one. We have a meeting prep every morning. It goes through my calendar, looks at the meetings coming up. I hit prep for meeting. It scrapes the entire internet, finds their social media, finds their LinkedIn, finds everything it can possibly about them, and writes a brief report of here's who they are, here's what they're interested, here's the hot spots, here's the watch out for, do not bring this up, and definitely bring this up before I walk into a meeting. We built all these things. And I went backwards on what are all the things over 20 years my clients wish they had, and we used to have to hire and train and do all this stuff, and could I build an agent that could do that for them? So some of these are kind of niche and specific, but most of them are the business use cases we wish we had. And so this is working in Dean and Barb's company, so meal prep companies, dental practices, one of my clients in France, advisory firms, Main Street businesses. We're trying to give them Fortune 500 knowledge. And so I'm going to talk about a couple parts. There's a brain, which is the knowledge of all this stuff, that you could talk to. And then there's another part we just introduced, which are the hands, the thing that can go and do it for you, which is wild. Because we used to have to log in, ask it questions, it gives us some information, then we have to go do it. Now it can give us the information and we can say deploy, and it'll go do lots of it for us. It's unbelievable. Okay, so the math here on your time. Sales prep and follow-up, imagine, so most of us don't even do that. We wish we had time to do it. We wish we had the energy to do it, but most of us don't do proper sales prep. If you're in any of my business classes, you've seen me talk about the McKay 66. It's the 66 questions Harvey McKay required every one of his sales reps to answer before they ever had a conversation with any possible lead. Are you answering all 66 of those questions before you ever reach out to a possible lead? Hard answer for most people, no. Who has time for that? Okay, so let's say you did, and it took 5 hours a week to do all that prep. Well, we can do that in a click of a button. Financial tracking. You know, how many of you log into your QuickBooks at least 1 to 3 times a week to identify how your business is actually doing financially? You run reports, you look at comparison dashboards, last month versus this month, last quarter versus this quarter, last year versus this year. How many of you do that every week, at least a couple times? For most people, they don't, but let's say you did, that's 3 hours a week. Financial optics. What about SOPs and trainings? 4 hours a week of building SOPs and training your new peeps. Strategic planning. This is where you're mapping out the plan and your vision and your goals and checking in every week, 3 hours. So here's the key. If we could save you 15 hours a week, which is our goal, can we save you 15 to 20 hours a week? If we do, that's 5 extra months a year. That's enough time to come to Africa. P.S. I have a hidden agenda. My wife and I have a piece of land on a safari game reserve in South Africa, and one of my main goals in life is helping businesses make enough money and picking business owners that are really cool so y'all can come freaking hang out with us and go look at the animals and go on a life-changing safari. And there's a few of you in here who've actually done it. So yes, I do have a hidden agenda. I want more friends to come do cool shit with us. That's my hidden agenda in all this. My wife and I figured out how to free ourselves and go do all this stuff. And I'm like, gosh, it'd be cool if we had more friends that could do it. And a few of you have. Coach Cardon's been to Thailand with us, Japan. We've been to Australia together. We've been to Dubai together. John and Kat, y'all came on safari with us. A few of you have. But I want all of you to be able to do that. We have a ton of fun doing stuff like this. Tom's been there. So here's a quick quiz. How are you doing in these areas? I'll zoom in a bit so we can see it. So number 1, my leads and sales happen predictably without me personally selling. A 1 is not at all. A 5 is happens like clockwork. Where y'all at? Write your numbers down. So there's a little scoring rubric on the next slide. But write your numbers down. 1 is no, 5 is absolutely. My leads and sales happen predictably without me personally having to do the sale itself. Number 2, I know my profit margins, cash runway, financial forecasts. If I asked you, what is your current profit margin per client? You instantly know. How much cash runway, how many months of cash does your business have in its account right now? Instantly know. I know my financial forecast over the next quarter and month, instantly. 1, not at all. 5, absolutely. Number 3, my team can execute daily ops without my involvement. Daily operations are happening without you having to personally be involved. Right? Number 4, I spend 80% of my time on strategy, not putting out fires. 1, not at all. 5, absolutely. And number 5, my business could grow without me for 30 plus days. If y'all come on safari with me, your business will be grown more than when you left. You can come hang out for 30 days. And my wife and I did this. We did a 28-day road trip safari with a couple friends and our son through 5 national parks. They were very brave. They let me drive all through Kenya and Tanzania. We have some wild stories, but for 28 days we did it. Our business didn't die. We had a ton of fun. Okay, everyone got your numbers? Here's the score. If you have a 5 through 10, it's really simple. You are the business. You need agents to replace yourself, or every day will cost you time and wasted money. If you're 11 through 17, you have what we call pockets of freedom. Congrats, you've got some freedom. You've made progress, but the ceiling is close. The right agent breaks you through, though. That's where we can help get you through that. If you're 18 to 25, close to true ownership, you're really close. Agents will unlock the next level and give you real freedom. And the question here isn't, should I use it? It's, which agents do I build first? Why most people won't do this alone? Number one, you don't know which agents to build. That's kind of tough. I don't know. Again, people use these as toys. They get really excited because they build one that can do one single task only when they tell it to. And every now and then it messes it up. That's kind of rough. Number two, you don't know how to configure them. This was a learning curve. If you ask my wife how many hours, I was spending like 15 hours a day for months figuring this stuff out. And I know John and Kat, y'all are doing this. How much effort does it take to do this right now? To figure out how in the world to get all these things to work and work together? Kat told me, I'm really excited for a moment when we get to start playing more again, because we've been sitting at our desks for months trying to figure this out. Kat, me too. It is a heavy lift. But when you get it, it feels like you're a rocket scientist or something. Like, it takes a significant amount of effort to crack this. Number three, you build the tools, but not the system. This is what I see a lot of people doing. They have a lot of one-off tools that do something kind of cool, but they don't have a system that runs and orchestrates the whole business. So individual agents versus connected agents that really transform. Or you never start. You bookmark it, you screenshot it, you plan to start at some point, and you haven't done anything with it. If you saw how many screenshots I have of cool ideas, you would laugh at me. So number four is definitely a guilty on my part. I have lots of stuff I wish I had time to build. Here's something that really hit me, and I threw it in here. Information without implementation is just expensive entertainment. Isn't that true? In my core industry that I grew up in, we call it shelf help. You spend thousands of dollars to go to seminars and buy books and programs. Why? So your shelf looks cooler. You got this great shelf with all the manuals and books and CDs and programs. And my gosh, it's great decoration. But it was just really expensive entertainment unless you apply it. If you apply it, even one thing will change your entire life if you let it. But lots of people I know have great shelf help. You walk in their office and go, ooh, you really helped your shelf look real great in here, huh? Have you done it? Or did you just buy it for decoration and entertainment? That's the key. You got to implement it so it's not just expensive entertainment. Here's the invitation I told you about. It's not a Zoom workshop. We'll have people live. You can stream in if you want. We just made that available because we had a few friends around the world who said, gosh, I'd love to go, but I have a visa issue, or I'm only allowed to do X, or I have another meeting the day before. There's no way I could fly and get there on that time. So we do have a Zoom access for this, but here's where it's going to be. It's the Condado Vanderbilt Hotel. It's a 5-star beachfront hotel. The room has 180-degree ocean view, so I'm not putting you in a ballroom closed off for 2 days. Like, I'm putting you in a place that's gorgeous to be. No passport needed if you're in the U.S. I should remove that for our international friends, sorry. Direct flights from every major U.S. city, 2.5 hours from Miami, 5-star oceanfront. It is a gorgeous place. A few people in here, I don't know, our board members on? We have our board meetings in the room next to this, which will happen right after our event. And it's one of my favorite rooms to meet in just because you watch pelicans dive in the ocean while you're having a board meeting. It's pretty cool. But here's the details, and here's the invitation. I call it 48 hours to freedom. You give me 48 hours of your time, I'll give you back your freedom in your business. That's it. June 2nd and 3rd, we're only going to have 50 to 75 people in the room. I'm not trying to have a giant seminar. It's just me and 50 to 75 people who really want to get this done. I'm going to help you in the room on day 2 build 4 agents. You will have 4 active producing agents that are running stuff in your business. My goal, can I save you 15 to 20 hours a week of time? If I can do that with these 4 agents in 48 hours, I feel like we did it. That's the key. What you'll build, this has changed in the last probably morning, because agent 1, we're going to identify what's the number one bottleneck in your business. The one bottleneck that if we unsolved, boom, your business grows. So that's agent 1 we're going to build. Agent 2 is the exact same thing. We'll take a break, come back, 90 minutes. What's the second bottleneck in your business? For Dean and Barb, it was 20 hours a week of food cost tracking, logging, ordering, this whole thing. Can we build an agent that handles all that, gets you 20 hours a week back? Can we build a second one that gets another 5 or 10 hours or 20 hours a week back? Like, that's what we're hunting for. Agent 3, we're going to call this your chief of staff, which I think I just got built. I'm testing it this afternoon. But your chief of staff is a proactive agent. You do not have to log in and talk to it. It will outreach to you every morning. Here's what I noticed going on in your finances. Here's something that picked up on your goals. Here's your current pace and how you're doing. I suggest we do this. And you're like, no, I don't think we should. And it goes, listen, I'm going to push back on that. You said that 2 weeks ago and that didn't work out. So this time I'm going to push a little harder and suggest we absolutely move forward. It's still up to you, but I'm not just going to passively agree with you. Like, this is a real chief of staff that's going to actively manage you as well as you're helping manage your business. So that's going to be agent 3, which will link everything together. And then agent 4 is going to be your implementation plan. Now that you've built these, this is the one that's going to actively hold you accountable and map out your next 90 days to make sure you use it every day and it goes. That's the goal. Not templates, not ideas. They're working agents built on your data, your business. It's going to know who you are, what you do, how you do it, and it's going to help you really move things forward. These are the pricings. So $997 general admission, that's the same price for digital if you want to Zoom in instead and don't want to come and join us in person for some reason, or you're not able to. 2 full days of building, 4 custom agents. There's 55 agents we'll also give you access to on the platform. We'll give you, I think we're going to extend that, but normally 30 days access to the other 55 agents too, so you could play with them and try them out and see if they're worth keeping. 90-day action plan, the workbook, and we'll record it, so you have the recordings for a period of time as well. The only reason I say recordings for a period of time is we used to give them to someone forever, and they became shelf help. And my friend Allison Armstrong said, if you give them to them for 30 days, they'll use them. If you give them to them forever, they'll sit on the shelf forever. And so we'll figure out whether it's 90 days or whatever, but a time frame to make sure you actually, if you're going to use them, you use them. And then VIP, this is 15 people. We sold 2 already. We have a few board members who are going to eat up, I think, 3 more of those seats. So there's like 12 of those left. And this is the 90-day platform access, private dinner we're going to have on the first night all together. One-on-one diagnostic call with me, where I look into your business and hunt for things I can help optimize quickly with you in this platform. And then 2 bonus agents. I'll help you build personally. I'll help you build 2 extra agents just for your business and priority support. Here's the ROI if we do it right. The equivalent of an executive team, $500 and $950 grand a year. If you hired a CFO, CEO, CMO, COO, your investment, $997. Time to recovery in year 1, 15 hours a week equals 150 hours, $117,000. So you're getting a 117x on your investment if we do this right and we pull it off together. That's what I'm aiming for. If you invest $1,000 in 2 days, I can get you back $100K worth of ROI in your business if I do it right. 3 paths. So this is kind of the options of what people think of. 1, do nothing. Keep working 52 hours a week. Hope it gets better. Spoiler, it won't. Path 2, figure it out alone. Watch YouTube, build generic bots, maybe get results in 6 to 12 months, maybe not. I'm happy to invite you to John and I's group chat where we're constantly trying to figure this stuff out. Path 3, join us in Puerto Rico, build it in 48 hours, leave with 4 working agents, a 90-day plan, and a business that can start to run without you. That's the goal. My agent told me to include this. Register today and get a fast start package. Pre-event strategy call with me. So I'll jump on the phone with you before the event for 30 minutes and think through where you need the most help to make sure we have everything set up when you arrive so that you can sit down and plug and play and be ready to rock. 60 days, so we're going to extend the access to the platform for people who do it today. And then a private 30-day group check-in with me where after the event, we'll keep checking on you. It says first 5 people. If you're on here with me live, I'll do it for you. If you're the first 5, amazing. If you just decide to do it, I'll also do it for you. Yeah, here's the link if you want to check it out. It's executiveoffice.ai/48-2-freedom. We probably need a simpler link. Or if you just go to executiveoffice.ai, there's a banner at the top that you click and it'll take you to the event page. We'd love to have you. Let me see if I can type it in the chat box real quick. AI/48-2-. There you go. That should work. Okay, that's the offer. You give me 48 hours, I'll give you back your freedom to the best of my ability. I'll tell you another personal thing, and I think Dean might still be on here. If you're someone who lands up working with me earlier on and stuff like this, I won't let you fail. I'll stick with you, and I don't care if it takes me more time or effort. I'll stick with you until we get it right and it's actually working in your business just like we describe. I can't promise that to people down the road, just it gets time constraining. But anyone who's with me in the beginning of something we do, I'll stick with you for a lifetime to make sure that it's absolutely rocking for you. So that's just a personal thing.